I will have a detailed look at a very high quality and high performance lure fishing rod called Realm from company Purelure. When it comes to specifications, here it goes. The carbon used for the blank is Toray M40X. Then it has a carbon reel seat, and as you can see, it has carbon grips here and here. Then it has black Fuji guides, 9 of them on this particular model. Then the rod itself weighs only 95 grams, and recovery times are really off the charts, and action is fast on this particular model. So all in all, stats is one thing, but now let's have a detailed look at every single inch of this rod. So before talking about the rod itself, I will move it out of the shot and we'll talk what you're getting with the rod. So it's kind of standard for Purelure now. They are including little hook keeper if you use these things. Then when it comes to rod's bag, here it is. It has a zipper and it has a pocket inside. And material itself, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not like padded very well, but it's very thick and kind of from the inside it almost feels like not like rubber, but more like leather, I would say. But it's not. I can see, that it's kind of some sort of fabric, but yeah, it feels like a leather, I would say, and it's quite thick as leather as well. So yeah, that's the bag, and let's move it out of the shot and let's go back onto the rod. I guess I will start with the butt section, but before talking about every single detail, I will mention this. I fished with this rod already, and there will be a separate video where you will see action and recovery times and how it handled the fish. So that's out of the way. Now let's talk about the rod. So the cap is made out of hard foam, which is great. It will be quiet when putting this rod down on hard and slippery surfaces. It won't slide about. I like it. Then it got this carbon kind of mesh. It's not an effect, it's a real carbon, which is cool. And the rest of the grip here is made out of foam. Looks pretty cool, right? And they actually went ahead and engraved Purelure here. So a lot of details here. So split. In here we can see the model C72H. Some stats. So length 7 feet or 2 meters and 10 centimeters. Action fast. Lures from 7 to 28 grams. Line from 12 to 20 pounds. I will come back to those stats a little bit later, but now let's keep on moving. Another split section here, again the same carbon and little sliver of this hard foam. Really cool, I like it. Then we got this reel seat. As you can see, it's a very high quality, very low profile, and it has all the kind of bumps for your fingers to go in here. Yeah, I like it. And they used this rod handle is, or reel seat is top notch. Then we got the screw that is aluminum, I believe. It spins very easily. That's cool. And also lately most manufacturers, they would use some sort of sharp edges, some like cutouts and stuff above the reel, which is not good. In here we don't have that, so everything is smooth, everything what's needed. And also you will see there is kind of 1 centimeter long maybe insert of wood. So it seems like Purelure were thinking what materials we can use for the handle of this rod. So we can use carbon, we can use foam, and we can use wood or cork. So they decided, yeah, let's use all of them. And in any case, I'm not complaining, I like it. And this kind of wood bit, kind of it matches, with this rod. It looks almost like an art, Everything is black and little sliver of wood. Looks really slick. So yeah, that some more writings, and you will see that writings most likely on camera, they will look to you that they are kind of just silver, you know, just like a mirror reflection, but it's not the case. They actually have like kind of, I want to say, copper tint in the color itself. Yes, it is reflective, but it's not silver. It's like, as they say, like coppery or like reddish, you know, so it looks very like almost gold. It looks like very, very expensive, you know. So okay, let's keep on moving, and we got the first guide. And you will notice that it's a Fuji guide. It says Fuji on this leg, if you can see it. And also the frame itself, it's black. Looks really awesome. If you know, into looks of the rod, you will love this one. Because, you know, for my taste, everything is like understated. It looks very nice. Okay, now we got the joint. Here we got the code of the rod. And the joint itself, it's fancy. It had this kind of checkerboard pattern on it, if you can see it. So yeah, very expensive looking, very cool, and you know, just quality. Okay, now let's move on to the tip. So the same deal here, this checkered board on the joint itself, just to make it kind of strong, I guess. And again, the code of the rod. Then we are moving along. We got first guide on 2 legs. You can call it 3 legs if you want, but still, this frame joins into one. I would say it's just 2 legs. So another guide, and guides are kind of smallish for this power, but I like it. You know, it has power, but you don't need, you know, massive rings for that. Now we're getting smaller. Smaller, 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 and last guide is, as you can see, or he had this frame, those 2 legs that should prevent all the tangles. And you will see all the guides, he had this kind of black or dark gray finish. Really, really cool. Okay, now let's count the guides. Oh, but before doing that, I'll mention this rod has a tubular tip, so it's not a solid, so it's a tube right to the last guide. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1 guide on the bottom butt section, so making it 9. So yeah, all looking good and high quality. Now I guess let's go ahead and let's take the bait of this rod straight away. I will use a little helper just to elevate things up. Okay, butt section 80 grams, and all in is 95.16. This is awesome, really, really good for this casting power. So that, and now let's move on to this casting power, right? So they're saying you can cast with this particular model from 7 to 28 grams, and it's more or less accurate, but you can definitely cast up to 35 grams easily, because it's a little bit more powerful than declared. So I would say from maybe 7 to 35, so the range of casting weights is really good. And even though, as I say, it's not exactly accurate, but it's not, you know, like like declared from 2 to 15 or something like that. Yeah, when it comes to the action, yes, it's fast, for sure it's fast, and I tested it and it is fast. And when it comes to recovery times, I was really impressed, you know. Just like you mount the blank, it just like comes back like immediately, you know. But having the fact that blank itself made out of that fancy M40X carbon, actually when I hooked into a few bigger fish, kinda, it's not only the tip bends, you know, when you have kind of powerful heavy or medium heavy rod, usually, you know, when you hook into a bigger fish, just only, you know, tip would bend. On this one, I would say half of the blank would bend, which is really, you know, good, knowing, you know, that the recovery times are really just like lightning fast. And all it means that bite indication is really good. Actually, when I was fishing and testing this rod out, I had two rods with me. I had a different rod that was ultralight, and I broke that one, and I kind of had to use this one instead of, you know, ultralight, like let's say casting 4 grams of lead plus lure, making like 8-9 grams in total, and catching, you know, smaller like perch and smaller species. I'm thinking, you know, I won't be able to feel the bites with this rod, you know, and I won't be able to cast, but it wasn't a problem at all. Yes, it was kind of on a heavy side, but it did not impair my catching rate at all. I was catching fish, feeling bites, and, you know, just playing, you know, those smaller fish, you know, on this rod felt a little bit like too much, but it's not like I lost many fish at all. Still, it handled them well, even though it was too heavy. So yeah, bite indication and performance is top notch on this blank. And there will be a separate video. Obviously, I will be using it in that video as kind of intended. So I'll be catching big fish and using bigger lures and so on. So who this rod is for? And there are plenty of applications where you need a high quality and very sensitive rod that can handle big fish, and you don't have to use heavy lines either, because the blank bends a little bit more than you would expect from a fast or extra fast actioned rod. So zander fishing springs in mind immediately, then bass fishing in United States, as in big bass or big zander, then pike fishing if you are kind of jigging on the bottom using slightly bigger lures, maybe in deep rivers and so on, when you need that good or really awesome bite indication. In all these situations, this Realm rod or the series of Realm rods will shine, because, as I say, sensitivity is top notch. It feels very light in the hand, just pleasure to use. And when you hook a fish, it kind of just absorbs all those lunges really easily, and it is fun to use it. So do I recommend it? Easily. And it's good to see, you know, that with all these components, usually, you know, when you have fancy carbon for the blank, carbon reel seats and so on, even companies that are kind of selling their items on AliExpress, they would, you know, ask for too much, in my opinion. Sometimes, you know, like a rod would be $300 or over 200 pounds here in the UK, but this one is not that. I believe as I'm reviewing this rod, it starts from like 120 pounds or 140 US dollars. So price is right, in my opinion, for the quality you are getting. And to get similar, you know, components and similar quality in general in a lure fishing rod, you would be spending, I would say, 2, maybe 3 times more. And there aren't many options either. You would be looking at something, you know, from Japan, or very high, like top shelf, you know, rods from like local retailers that do sell here in Europe or United States. But here, as I say, it's not cheap by any means, but quality is awesome for the price. All in all, easy recommendation if you are chasing big fish and still you want to enjoy your fishing, you want to have really close to best available rods on the market, but you don't want to spend a lot. You will like these ones for sure. So if you will decide to get one, have a look at them links in the description below. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Over and out.